Can you believe what just happened in New Orleans? A team that looked lost last season has suddenly turned into something nobody saw coming. In one summer, the Saints pressed a reset button so loud it shook the entire NFC South. This isn't the same team you thought you knew. Last year, they looked slow, out of ideas, and stuck in the past. Now, they look fast, young, and dangerous. The quarterback room has a new face, the receivers are built for speed, and the offensive line finally looks ready to dominate. It feels less like a rebuild and more like a complete shock to the system. Fans who were frustrated are now sitting up straight. Every move the Saints made feels sharp and calculated, almost like they were waiting to unleash all of this at once. The message is simple. New Orleans is done playing it safe, and they want to own the field right now. Don't forget to subscribe to Redone Report for more powerful NFL stories. What makes it even wilder is the speed of this change. No long rebuild, no years of waiting, just one off-season of bold decisions that flipped everything. That's why people around the league are stunned, because this was never supposed to happen this fast. And now the conversation shifts. A reset only matters if you've got weapons to back it up. And the Saints just stacked the table with firepower. That's where this story heads next. The Saints didn't just reset the roster, they armed it with weapons that change everything. Look at the receiver room. Suddenly it's built for speed and impact. Trey Palmer brings pure burst, Brandon Cooks still knows how to open space, and Devin Veely gives the quarterback a big target in traffic. This is not the same predictable group we saw before. And then there's Alvin Kamara. He's still the heartbeat, but now he doesn't have to do it alone. Kendry Miller adds fresh legs, giving New Orleans the kind of balance they've been missing. Defenses can't just key in on Kamara anymore, because there's another runner waiting to punish them. Up front, the offensive line has a new edge. Kelvin Banks Jr. and Taliej Vuaga bring strength and toughness, while veterans like Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz make sure the structure holds. For the first time in years, this group feels like it can protect and attack at the same time. What makes this shocking is how quickly all these pieces came together. One off-season ago, the Saints looked thin, slow, and old. Now they look loaded with answers everywhere on the field. That's the kind of swing that can turn a weak offense into a dangerous one overnight. But all of this firepower only matters if the quarterback can handle it, and that's where the real tension begins, because Spencer Rattler has been handed the keys and the pressure on him is about to explode. The biggest shock of the offseason wasn't just the roster reset, it was the Saints handing the starting job to Spencer Rattler. A second-year quarterback now carries the weight of an entire franchise. Nobody thought New Orleans would move this fast, but here we are, with Rattler as the face of the future. Last year, he was thrown in without warning, stuck behind a weak plan and limited timing with his targets. It wasn't pretty, but you could see flashes that hinted at something bigger. The Saints clearly saw enough to gamble on him, and that gamble is now front and center. What makes this story even more tense is how thin the margin is. One good season and Rattler becomes the answer fans have been waiting for. One bad stretch and the entire rebuild looks shaky. That's the razor edge he's living on right now. The preseason gave a glimpse of what he can be. Calm throws, solid numbers, and better command. But the real test is coming when defenses stop holding back. That's when we'll see if Rattler can turn control into wins or if cracks begin to show. And standing right behind him is a rookie ready to pounce. Tyler Shaw isn't here to sit quietly, and that pressure makes Rattler's moment even more intense. Here's the twist nobody saw coming. The Saints drafted a rookie who was actually older than the starter. Tyler Shaw walked in the building and didn't act like a backup. He acted like a player ready to run the huddle. That confidence shook up the room from day one. Coaches noticed it right away. In camp, he split reps with the starters, built timing with top receivers, and showed he could process the game fast. This wasn't the typical rookie learning from the sidelines. Shaw made it clear he was here to compete. And that's what makes his presence so dangerous for Rattler. Every snap, every mistake, every throw now feels heavier because there's someone right behind him who's ready to take over. That's not pressure from fans or media. That's pressure standing in the same locker room. The quarterback room in New Orleans isn't about comfort, it's about competition. And with Shaw pushing, the spotlight on Spencer Rattler just got a lot hotter. The Saints didn't just change players, they handed the offense to Kellen Moore, and his system is built to cause chaos. It's not about stacking a giant playbook, it's about speed, movement, and quick reads that force
force defenses to react too late. Every snap is designed to feel faster than the one before. Moore's biggest trick is disguise. One look can mean 3 different plays, and defenses don't know which one is coming until the ball is already gone. Motion across the line, shifting alignments, and sudden tempo changes make it almost impossible for defenders to stay comfortable. The red zone is where his style really stings. He uses stacks and bunch formations to free up receivers even when space is tight. Tight ends sell the run, backs press the line, and then the quarterback has easy throws that look impossible to stop. It's simple to watch, but brutal to defend. What makes this so dangerous is how it connects with the Saints' new weapons. The same formations can set up quick passes, power runs, or deep shots. Defenses may think they recognize the play, but by the time they react, the ball is already past them. And that's where the tension spikes, because Moore's system only works if the right players fill the right roles. That's where the spotlight moves next, the firepower surrounding this offense. The Saints didn't just bring in names, they built a group that attacks in every direction. Chris Olave slices up coverage with sharp routes, Rashid Shaheed can stretch the field in one step, and Brandon Cooks still knows how to create space. Add Trey Palmer's speed and Devin Veely's size, and suddenly every defender has a problem. This isn't a one-man show anymore. Alvin Kamara remains the player defenses fear most, but now he's supported in ways he never was. Kendry Miller brings raw power, able to pound short-yarded situations and keep the tempo alive. That balance forces defenses to stay honest on every snap. Up front, the offensive line makes all of this possible. Young talents like Kelvin Banks Jr. and Taliesh Fuaga are paired with steady leaders like Eric McCoy and Cesar Ruiz. Together, they create clean pockets and open running lanes, something that felt missing in past seasons. What makes this setup so dangerous is the way they all connect. Wideouts stress the field, backs punish light boxes, and the line keeps the quarterback upright. No matter where defenses look, there's a mismatch waiting to strike. But even with all this firepower, the Saints know one truth. Games are never won on offense alone. The defense has to create momentum too. And that's where the focus turns next. The Saints know their offense can score, but the defense has to create the spark. That's why Brandon Staley's system is built on confusion and pressure. His goal is simple: make quarterbacks think they see one thing and then trap them with something else. It's a style that feeds off mistakes and turns them into chances. The secondary has leaders that make this work. Justin Reed directs traffic, Julian Blackmon brings ball-hawking instincts, and young corners like Kool-Aid McStensry and Alante Taylor close gaps before passes even land. That mix of veterans and youth gives Staley plenty of options to disguise coverages. Up front, the names speak for themselves. Cameron Jordan still delivers veteran power, Chase Young brings edge pressure, and Carl Granderson adds steady impact. Behind them, rising players like Brian Brzee keep the push alive. Linebackers Demario Davis and Pete Werner tie it all together, filling gaps and cleaning up plays. But here's the shocking part. Last season, this defense struggled to take the ball away. Only a handful of turnovers left them stuck in tight games. That has to change if the Saints want their reset to pay off. Creating extra possessions is the difference between playing from behind and controlling the field. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Because with all this talent and all this change, the question is simple. Can the Saints turn it into real power inside the NFC South? The Saints have created a blueprint that can flip the division on its head. Field position, finishing drives, and protecting the ball are now the core of their identity. If they stay disciplined in those moments, they won't just compete, they'll control games from start to finish. This isn't just about one season either. A younger roster, a modern scheme, and a cap-friendly quarterback setup give New Orleans room to grow while still winning now. That balance is rare in today's NFL, and it makes the Saints one of the most unpredictable teams heading into the year. The real suspense is in who steps up. Will it be Spencer Rattler proving he's the answer? Trey Palmer breaking games wide open? Taliesh Fuaga locking down the edge? Or Julian Blackmon stealing possessions on defense? One of them could be the name that defines the season. Now it's your turn. Drop your pick in the comments. Who do you think becomes the true game changer for the Saints? Tap like if you're riding with the black and gold, and hit subscribe so you never miss the next big story.